Well, here we are with Masood Abdulah, fight number five Saturday night. You're 4-0 with four knockouts so far. Your thoughts heading into Saturday?
Um, I want to make it 5-0 with five knockouts, but only time will tell. I'm not going to get greedy with my punches. If the stoppage is there, I'll go for it. If it's not, I want to show good boxing skill.
The fella you're fighting is unbeaten, so not only is it a step up in rounds, I believe you're going up to 8 rounds this time as well, but this is an unbeaten guy who's going to come hungry, who's going to come to try and take your head off. Does that give you a different sort of pressure and motivation?
Not really. I have one job: go out there, win, show good boxing ability, dominate, and that doesn't change. Although this guy does come forward, does attack quite a bit, unlike my last opponent who came forward and didn't throw as many punches. This guy's slightly different, and let's just see who can enforce their will more, me or him.
And you're quite used to enforcing your will. We saw Sandeep Singh Bhatti, which was an epic fight, but ultimately he wilted. You really do pressure these other fighters, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I had to fight Sandeep different to the way I fought all of the other opponents, and I was happy that I adjusted as the rounds went on, started picking my punches up a little bit more. This one. I feel like should be fireworks just because we're both attackers. We both come forward. We both do different things, and it's just about who can clip who can be a little bit smarter, who can dominate, whose fight IQ is better. That's what it's going to come down to. And he's not no chump. He's had 3 fights. One of his fights should have been a stoppage as well. He was beating the crap out of his opponent, smashing his gum shield out of his mouth every time, and the ref had enough. The ref was like, too many times now. Let's cancel the fight.
Well, look, the rounds are going up, but the weight is coming down. I understand you're making your super bantamweight bow. Talk to me.
Yeah, so this is my 4th weight division change. So I went super feather, lightweight, super feather, now feather, and then now super bantam. I have my nutritionist to thank to that. We've just been following a plan. From the amateur days, I never had any nutritionist. I just ate wherever I want. Whatever weight I was at, I was like, all right, this is what weight we're going to fight people at. Now I have a good nutritionist, sets everything up. I don't have to think about anything, just eat what I'm told, do what I'm told, and then that's it. And weight's flying off. Yeah.
If you are to settle at this weight, it is a bit of a glamour division in the UK. We've just seen Liam Davis become the British champion, defeating Mark Leach. There's Andrew Kane, champion at the bit. Zolani Tete just knocked out Jason Cunningham. There's so many names. You're in a great place, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my main motivation for coming down to this weight. There's so much competition here. I'm looking at these guys saying, I want to join the party. I want to see what you guys are made of. Not only that, I want to be tested as well. So it's a good weight division to be at. And if I can hold my power at this weight, then I'm coming.
So you want to join the party. Whereabouts do you fit in this party? Where do you place yourself?
I rank myself at the top. Sounds quite arrogant. You have to believe in yourself. Rank myself at the top, but I just need the experience and the exposure to get there. That's all I need.
Well, you've been doing high-level sparring. It's not just Lee Wood, of course, so we've seen that you've been sparring him, but also Joe Cordina, Janut Baluta as well, who's a fellow super bantamweight that Queensberry work with. What are you taking away from these spars?
Every spar for me is like a learning lesson. I get to try out different things, I get to experiment, I get to see what they do, and then try and use what they do against them, and just absorb as much as possible, because again, I'm not getting the rounds in my fights. This is where I get the rounds in, and I'm not looking to hang about. I'm looking to make a statement, push forward, get as many fights in, get the belts as quickly as possible, and then hopefully leave with my marbles intact.
What sort of feedback are you getting from these spars? Obviously, Joe Cordina is now a world champion. Lee Wood is a world champion as well. These guys are ahead of you in their career. What sort of feedback are they giving you?
I mean, they didn't say much. It's a good spar. It's fairly even from time to time. The only person I care about getting feedback from is my coach, and the rest, I don't really care too much. I mean, you get that. Oh yeah, you're tough. Yeah, you can hit hard. You can do this. You done this different. It's all nice, but my coach is the guy who I care about, and his opinion is what matters.
And what has his opinion been?
He doesn't share much with me. He just
So you don't know?
no, I don't know. But that's the thing. It's kind of like trying to seek for approval, but you're never gonna get it. Or so far, he's been happy with my performance. He thinks like I'm dropping weight well. He thinks I'm picking my shots a little bit better. But I've never really asked him. I've always like every time I turn to him, he's like, "You're not doing this right. You're not doing this right. You need to do this better." And just trying to amend those mistakes. But yeah.
Well, there's different types of fighters. Are you the type of fighter that doesn't want the constant backpatting? You're great, brilliant work. Do you need that correcting?
No, I mean I don't care about that. That's not why I got into the sport. If someone tells me I have a shit jab, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on my jab. If someone tells me I have a good jab, you get complacent. So I tend to focus on the weaknesses rather than the strengths.
Well, one of the men you've been sparring, and I just mentioned it, was Unbeaten Baluta. He picked up a big win over Brad Foster in recent times on a Queensberry show. If you're sparring him and you're a super bantamweight, are you kind of taking anything away from that as a potential future foe?
If it happens, it happens. I mean, I'm not one to shy away. I think his engine is insane. He's got a good chin. But again, I'm super happy he won that fight because I know how hard he worked and I know how long he was waiting for a title shot. Happy for him. But again, if we do end up facing, no issue, no problem.
Do you know what, you come across to me as a bit of a coiled spring. It feels like, and I had the same thing with Nick Ball and Andrew Kane as well. It took a few fights, but then suddenly something clicked and they burst onto the scene. Do you feel as though that's going to happen with you?
Hopefully. I mean, I just need people to notice me a little bit more. Get out there, give some good, some good shows, and eventually something will happen. I mean, if I keep knocking people down, if I keep having good performances, showing really dominant boxing skill, it's bound to happen. It's the blueprint for anything you do, isn't it? Yeah.
Of course. But sometimes what you'll find is it works to your advantage to be a little bit under the radar. I'll take Nick Ball as an example, who didn't really have too many televised bouts, was under the radar, suddenly got himself a fight with Isaac Lowe, who perhaps didn't really know much about him, knocked him out at Wembley Stadium, and he burst onto the scene.
Yeah, I mean, he done well. He done really well. In fact, he fought one of my friends, Jerome Campbell, once. And Nick Ball is relentless, non-stop pressure, comes at you. He's good. He's fighting on this card, isn't he? I forget who the fella he's fighting at, but that's a fight which I'm looking forward to. And we'll see. Maybe one day down the line, who knows?
I think you against any of these guys is a great fight. It's great to have you in the mix. What did you think of Zlani Tesse's knockout over Jason Cunningham the other night?
Oh, class knockout. It came out of nowhere. That guy is super sharp, super explosive. And that fight meant a lot to him. And you could see, like, he just screaming. I bet he wanted to tear up a little bit, but he held it back. It just meant a lot for him. I was happy for him.
It was a nice moment. Well, what about yourself? Back to you. Fight number 5 Saturday night. What's going to happen in there?
As I want to go through the rounds, see how it feels. I want to see if I can hold my power in Super Bantam. And the only way I can do that is if I actually test myself every single round as it goes on, rather than get an early stoppage. But don't get me wrong, if it's there, I'm going for it.
I know you will. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.